So, let's talk about getting a personal loan. It can feel pretty overwhelming, right? Almost like a maze. But what if you had a clear, masterful strategy to navigate it all? Well, that's exactly what we're going to build today. We're going to break down how to borrow smartly, focusing on the key benchmarks you really need to hit by 2026. Let's dive in.
Yep, life happens, doesn't it? One minute everything's fine, the next you've got a medical emergency, a family wedding, or some other huge unplanned expense. And when that happens, you need cash and you need it fast. The appeal of a quick, instant personal loan, it's totally understandable.
But hold on, what's the catch? Well, here it is. These loans are unsecured, which just means you're not putting up any collateral like your house or your car. Because of that, lenders focus on speed. But rushing into a loan without a solid plan can easily lock you into a nasty debt cycle. And that turns a quick fix into a really long-term financial headache.
So how do you avoid that trap and borrow smartly? Simple. We've laid out a 6-step blueprint for you. First, we'll piece together the personal loan puzzle. Then, we'll get into why your CIBL score is absolutely everything. We'll show you how to shop for loans without tanking that score. We'll decode the tricky fine print, figure out the perfect loan length, and finally, wrap it all up in your very own smart borrowing blueprint.
All right, let's jump right in with step 1, the personal loan puzzle. Looking for a loan can feel like trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle with 1,000 pieces and no picture on the box. So our first mission is to find those corner pieces, the things that bring clarity to the whole picture.
And the single most important corner piece of that whole puzzle is your CIBIL score. You can think of it as your digital reputation. For these unsecured loans, this little 3-digit number is basically the bank's security blanket. It tells them everything they need to know about how you handle your money. So what's the magic number we're all aiming for in 2026? It's 750. A CIBIL score of 750 or higher, that's the new gold standard. It's the number that tells lenders you are a super reliable borrower. Honestly, it's the key that unlocks the door to the best loan terms and the lowest interest rates. This is the number you want.
And the difference this score makes is, well, it's night and day. With a score over 750, you're in the driver's seat. You've got negotiating power, and you can get premium rates, maybe as low as 9.99%. But if your score drops below 700, suddenly lenders are using something called risk-based pricing. That's when your interest rate can shoot up past 18%. The financial hit is just massive.
Okay, so your score is solid. Now it's time to shop for a loan, right? Not so fast. This is where so many people fall into a really costly mistake. We call it the hard inquiry trap, and it can actually wreck the great score you've worked so hard to build. Let's make sure that doesn't happen to you.
Here's how the pros do it, and how you should too. First, you use aggregator websites to just browse and compare different loan offers. When you do this, it only triggers what's called a soft inquiry, which does not affect your credit score at all. You can do this as much as you want. Only after you've found the absolute best offer for you, that's when you formally apply. Applying just that one time prevents multiple hard inquiries, which can seriously drop your score by 20 or 30 points almost instantly.
So, you found a great rate, and you did it without hurting your score. Awesome. But that shiny advertised interest rate? That's just the beginning of the story. To understand the true cost of borrowing, we have to move on to our next step, decoding all that fine print. You see, the total cost of your loan is not just the money you borrowed and the interest. Look at this chart. There's a third piece of the pie here, one that's easy to overlook: fees and charges. And trust me, that slice can seriously inflate how much you actually end up paying back. So what's actually hiding in that slice? Well, you've got processing fees, usually about 1 to 3.5% of your loan amount, and they take that right off the top. Then there are foreclosure charges. That's a penalty, maybe 2 to 5% that they hit you with if you try to pay the loan off early. And on top of all of that, you have to add the mandatory 18% GST. The main takeaway here is you have to ask your lender about these specific costs before you sign anything. Next up, we need to solve what I call the tenure paradox. This is the really critical balancing act between how much you can afford to pay each month versus how much interest you end up paying over the entire life of the loan. It's a pretty clear trade-off, really. If you go for a shorter tenure, say 1 or 2 years, your monthly EMI will be higher. But, and this is a big but, you'll save a ton on total interest and be debt-free much faster. On the other hand, a longer tenure of 5 years gives you a lower, more manageable EMI, but you could end up paying way more in interest over time. So how on earth do you choose? Well, here is a fantastic, super simple rule to guide you. It's the Arthveda rule of thumb.
Just add up all your monthly loan payments, your car, your home, and this new personal loan. The grand total should never, ever be more than 30% of your monthly take-home pay. This is your safety net. It makes sure your debt stays manageable.
Wow, we have covered a lot of ground. So now, let's bring it all home with our final step. A smart borrowing blueprint that's going to act as your final check before you commit to anything. Ever wanted to think like a bank? Here's your chance. This table is basically a simplified version of the formula they use. Banks usually cap your total loan payments at about 50% of your income. So just take your monthly take-home salary, multiply it by 0.5, and then subtract any existing loan payments you already have. What's left over? That's the maximum new monthly payment the bank thinks you can handle. It's a really powerful way to check your own eligibility before you even apply.
And that brings us to our final most important thought. You know, in a world full of instant approvals, lenders are throwing money at you based on your past. But after this explainer, you now have the tools to give yourself the only approval that truly matters, your own. One that's based on your own knowledge, your own financial situation, and your own mastery of this whole process.